Hello everybody, welcome to Tuesday's Assembly. Our assembly can continue our theme of going for goals and inspiring excellence. And this assembly is brought to you by a book called Dogs Don't Do Ballet. Dogs Don't Do Ballet. And it's by Anna Kemp. It's illustrated by Sarah Ogilvy, who you might have seen illustrating a number of books before. And the publisher is Simon & Schuster. And I thought it's a really good book to illustrate. When you want to set yourself a goal, keep going for it and don't give up. Keep practicing and don't give up, even if other people think you can't do it. Dogs don't do ballet. My dog is not like other dogs. He doesn't do dog stuff like weeing on lampposts or scratching his fleas or drinking out of the toilet. If I throw him a stick, he looks at me like I'm crazy. So I have to fetch it myself. No, my dog likes music and moonlight and walking on his tiptoes. You see, my dog doesn't think he's a dog. My dog thinks he's a ballerina. When I get ready for ballet class, he looks longingly at my tutu and ballet shoes, and I just know he is dreaming of his name, of seeing his name in lights. He wants to be like this ballerina in the poster, doesn't he? That's what he wants to be like. Why not? He's going to have to practice though, isn't he? You have to break his goal down into chunks. Dad, I say, can Biff come too? He loves ballet. Not a chance, says Dad. Dogs don't do ballet. Then one Saturday, on my way to class, I get a funny feeling that I'm being watched. A funny feeling that I'm being followed. Who's she being followed by? When Miss Polly is teaching us a new routine, I think I see something peeking in at the window. Can you see it too? Something with a wet nose. Something with a tail. Right, girls, says Miss Polly. Who's going to demonstrate first position? First position is a ballet term. If we were in assembly right now in school, I'd be showing you first position. But before anyone can step forward, there's a loud bark from the back of the hall and something furry rushes to the front. What is this? Asks Miss Polly, peering over her glasses. This, I say, is my dog. Well, take it away at once, says Miss Polly, wrinkling up her nose. Dogs don't do ballet. My poor dog was wagging his tails and his ears drooped down at the end. Oh dear, he stops wagging his tail and his ears droop down. What a way to spoil someone's enthusiasm, Miss Polly. Well, I'm glad we don't have teachers like that in our school. I take my dog home and give him a bowl of doggy donuts, but he won't touch them. Why do you think he won't even eat his doggy donuts? He just stays in his kennel for days and days, and at night he howls at the moon. Oh dear, poor Biff. For my birthday, I get tickets for the Royal Ballet. Can Biff come too? I asked Dad. He loves ballet. My dog pricks up his ears, wags his tail. No, says Dad. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Dogs don't do ballet. As we wait for the bus, I think about my poor old dog all on his own, howling at the moon. Then I get a funny feeling. A funny feeling that I'm being watched. A funny feeling that I'm not alone. Well, the ballet is magical. And for those of you who've seen a ballet live, you'll know that they're absolutely magical things to see. I haven't seen one in a little while now, but I did used to go and watch ballet a little bit when I was a younger person, and they are magical things to go and observe. The orchestra plays as the prima ballerina dances. She's the prima ballerina. It means the first ballerina. And twirls and whirls and skips and... Oh no! She trips. Disaster! Calamity! It's all over, I think. Look, she's fallen into the tuba. Well, that might be a sousaphone. I'm not sure. I think it's a tuba. But somebody doesn't think it's over. No, somebody think it's just beginning. Somebody with big black eyes. Somebody with pointy ears. Somebody wearing my tutu. The audience gasps. It's a dog, someone shouts. Dogs don't do ballet. My dog turns bright red and looks at his feet. That's what I've always said, Dad mutters. But then the orchestra starts to play. And my dog dances like no dog has ever danced before. Plié, jeté, arabesque, pirouette. He is as light as a sugar puff, as pretty as a fairy. The audience can't believe it. Hooray! I shout, that's my dog! A dog that does ballet, she adds. Bravo! Suddenly the whole audience cheers and throws bunches of roses. My dog glows pink with happiness. I don't believe it, says Dad, shaking his head. Biff is a ballerina after all. See? I say proudly, ruffling Biff's ears. Dogs do ballet. Bravo, Biff. Now, I shared with you some of my goals yesterday. Biff's goal was to become a prima ballerina. Now, he had to have a bit of luck on his side, didn't he? But he practiced, even though at times it wasn't easy for him to practice. He practiced anyway. And he learned from his mistakes. And that's how you become really good at something. And it reminded me of a boy I used to teach called Andrew. And when Andrew was in year 3, he said to me, I'm going to be famous. I said, okay, good for you. Lots of people think that when they're younger. No, Mr. Dyer, I am. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be famous because I'm going to sing and I'm going to act. Okay, Andrew, good for you. And Andrew went to ballet classes. And he used to tell me off for calling it ballet classes. He said, it's actually pronounced ballet, Mr. Dyer. He used to go a few times a week. And he went to singing classes. And he used to ask every day, Mr. Dyer, can I do a show and tell? Mr. Dyer, can I do a show and tell? And he always wanted to sing something to the class. And the last time I saw him was after I left that school. The last time I saw him was performing on stage in the Theatre Royal in Bath in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. And whenever I read this story, I'm reminded of him because he was the only boy in our class who went to the ballet class. There were a few girls who went, but he was the only boy who went. But he was very determined to become a star on stage. And he'd set himself a goal. And that's one thing we didn't talk about yesterday when we were talking about setting our goals, is the importance of determination and really wanting to do it. So I hope that the goals that you've set as part of our challenge this week, you're going to be really determined to do them, just like Biff when he learned to do his ballet. Thank you very much for listening to my assembly today. I look forward to seeing you all again soon.